Bitcoin price action has a lot of people worried. It's feeling about as reliable as Britney Spears with a set of brand new kitchen knives. As reliable as your friend who stumbles up to you 3 days after you last saw him in Las Vegas, stinking of booze and piss, and he asks you for a small loan of $24,000 just so he can get back on his feet. It's about as reliable as United Airlines in 2024. All right, that one might have been a little bit too real. Fact is that Bitcoin right now is putting in its first moment of truly shaky price action. The kind of price action that makes you unsure whether you want to hold them or fold them. And this, my friends, is coming right after we thought we had violated, destroyed, obliterated, like the like button, the prior all-time high for Bitcoin. But alas, I do not believe that we have seen the highs for this Bitcoin cycle. In fact, I think we are just getting started. And I'm going to show you the signs that make me feel as though not only are we just getting started, but the writing is on the wall that this will be an even more powerful, even more parabolic, and even more profitable Bitcoin and crypto cycle than we have ever seen in the past. And that means that this dip that we're currently in is a chance to rewind the clock and get amazing entries into our 3 favorite category of coins. But today is a little special because you've heard, you know, and you're probably sick of my ranting about gaming cryptos, which have all done 10, 15, and sometimes over 20x off the lows. Shout out to my Super Saiyans who have been riding with this since the bottom. But of course, we talked about some AI coins, some of which ripped over 3x in just a few days. We'll talk a little bit about those and where I see the opportunities in both gaming and AI, starting from established category leaders all the way down to dirty, disgusting degeneracy. And we're going to take it one step further because today I'm going to dust off my greasy mustache wax and I'm going to introduce you to my degenerate alter ego, EllioTrades. That's right. It's time for me to go headstrong into meme coins. We can no longer deny the fact that not only are memes a presence in this current bull run, but they are a driver of this current bull run. Obviously, I told you I've changed my tune on memes, and I even called out a few memes that did insanely well, Bonk and Pepe, way back in Q3 of last year. But today I'm going to give you the full breakdown, how you can make literally 100x or more gains in meme coins, and how you can immerse yourself fully in the most hilarious and entertaining sewer of a shitcoin casino that is cryptocurrency. I'm not exactly proud that we're here as an industry, but as your captain, it is my duty to help you navigate these waters. So as always, we're going to start with the big picture stuff. Now, big picture stuff is that we have the macro finally warming up. Remember when they started hiking interest rates? It's those change in the direction of the interest rates that cause dramatic action in the markets. And cutting rates is supposed to be very, very good for risk assets like crypto and stocks. Of course, when they started hiking rates, crypto fell like a lead balloon. And now we have the market pricing in the first rate cuts, which are supposed to be 3 rate cuts this year and up to 5 rate cuts next year. And that should bring you with 8 rate cuts at least, given a 0.25% is the smallest change they normally do. That should bring us at least down to the 3s in the federal funds rate. And that, my friends, means that the risk of leaving your money in an inflationary environment in T-bills that only get you a few percent on your money, that is way too much of a risk. And people will start chucking it into things that are going up like crazy, like stocks and crypto. There are trillions of dollars that are sitting on the sidelines right now waiting to get into the game. And this is not just crypto. Here you can see behind me the chart for gold. You can see in this circular area where gold got its ETF. Then it had a decade-long run-up, or 8 or 9 years here. It peaked in 2011, okay? And it's been consolidating and trying to break that level ever since. And for the first time in 13 years, since 2011, it has just broken out to new highs. And this happened within the last few weeks. So you're telling me after a 13-year consolidation and the first clear breakout on the monthly time frame, this is where this train all stops? I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. And that means that there's appetite for things that are not the dollar, for getting out of the dollar all over the place. Here you see the S&P just on a simple chart, clearly above its prior highs, breaking out. And here, I mean, look at the NASDAQ, just explosive over its prior highs. And why would everyone be fleeing the dollar like this? Well, check it out. A Bloomberg, that's right, Bloomberg, who hate crypto. If you haven't figured that out, all their crypto coverage is absolutely asinine. It's so biased and disgusting. Shout out to Bloomberg for that. They ran 1 million simulations to assess the fragility of the US debt outlook, and in 88% and over 880,000 of these simulations, the results showed the debt to GDP ratio is on an unsustainable path. Now, what the hell that means is up for interpretation. But effectively, if the debt gets out of hand, there's only 2 things you can do. You either default, meaning you tell your creditors you can't pay them back. I don't see the US government doing that because that would undermine literally the entire economy. Or you print money and pay back your creditors. Do you print or do you default and undermine the entire modern financial system? In my opinion, the default system would lead to civil unrest and overthrowing of the government. You could only imagine that it would be a horror story, whatever happened in the default situation, and that anyone in power would choose to print some money, even if it causes problems down the road. To me, there's only one outcome here, which is you debase, you don't default. And that means that everything that's measured in dollars that's scarce, whether it's stocks, commodities, or of course our beloved magic internet money, is probably set to go absolutely vertical whenever someone tries to deal with this debt situation. Now, refocusing on crypto land, my buddy Eric Crown has brought out this indicator which shows the nominal cost to produce a Bitcoin. And this indicator has actually never been broken since the start of Bitcoin's life, going back to its infancy. And right now it sits around 30,000, but it's about to double up to about 60,000. So any price action that we see on Bitcoin that comes close to that $60,000 price point is probably an absolute steal. And the entire market is probably on major discount if that comes into effect. Now, during the last few halvings, the price actually hung around that level for a few months in and around the halving time. So it wouldn't be weird if the market consolidates and goes sideways here, kind of grinding down and around that $60,000 range. That would still be quite bullish, because that would mean that we're just reaccumulating before the next, hopefully, major leg up. And there's a lot of reasons to think that this cycle is not just strong, but one of the strongest, if not the strongest ever on record. Check this out. If you're familiar with Plan B, he does a lot of these models like the Bitcoin stock to flow model. And as you can see, we are pretty much right on track, with the blue line coming right in line with the fair market value, the gray line right at the time of the halving. And then it snaps up here to the next line, which, as you can see, he has the fair market value. It looks like it's in the at least 500,000. I think that's the next line. That would be crazy if it hits there, but cool. Now, the next chart I wanted to show you is this one. And I think it's crazy because if you look here where my cursor is, you can see the RSI on the far right where we are. This is the final blue dot. And then it flips to the red dot on the halving. The red dot, aka the first time period measured after the halving, has never been in this bullish of a posturing. You see here, normally the red dot, even in 2013, the first parabolic real bull run Bitcoin had, was only at a 70 on the monthly RSI. You can see it came in the 60s in the 2016 halving and dropped down actually towards 60. And you can see last cycle, it actually came in the 50s. So when you see this RSI up here in the 70s, it shows you that we are looking at one of the strongest markets coming into a halving period that we've ever seen in the history of Bitcoin. Now, the haters might say this means we have a shorter cycle and that we're getting most of the gains earlier. I personally think that we finally have a buyer in the form of an ETF, and that overthinking the fact that Wall Street can now easily allocate hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars to this new asset class in just a few clicks, that is something that I think people are mid-curving by trying to find a negative in it. No, BlackRock doesn't control all of Bitcoin yet. And I don't think they have a chance at doing it this run. Probably be at least 10 years or so before the price can truly be manipulated by these big Wall Street firms. So I think what we're seeing right here is just true explosive price action based on a massive new buyer here in Bitcoin land. Now, I always show this guy Kush just because his charts make me happy. They're so bullish. I don't think they're playing out quite as he wanted, but anyway, he's saying the reaccumulation period is coming to an end. Let's see. Again, I'm in no rush to see Bitcoin exit this accumulation period, because I think this is the time that people who missed this whole run from October through January and then the second wave up to now on AI and gaming and even memes are now going to get a chance to rewind the clock and get their chunk of obvious, clear winners that could forever change the path of their investment portfolio. At least that's what we hope, right? Now, again, I want to be clear. I'm going to go through coins. They're going to start as category leaders. I'm going to go through AI first, then I'm going to go to gaming, then I'm going to talk about meme coins. But we're going to start with category leaders, and then we're going to work our way down to riskier stuff. Again, the riskier stuff has the chance of the 100x, the 50x, whereas the category leaders are probably going to be more in that 10 to 20x, maybe upwards of 30x if you're lucky. But many of these have $1 billion or higher market caps. So again, if Bitcoin gets to 250K, a lot of these $1 billion market caps might get to 50 billion or maybe even 100 billion. That's possible in a world where Bitcoin is sitting at several trillion dollars as an asset class. However, unless Bitcoin goes on this run, it's not likely to expect any gains out of these coins. We might get a short alt season and then just complete doom and gloom. But just understand, all of this is predicated on Bitcoin going postal, going to new highs, going to 6 figures and higher. Again, I made a whole video on how to sell coins and my outlook on selling them. So if you're new here, if you're new to crypto, make sure you do your research, go through my video archive, especially the last 5 or 10 videos I've made, and it'll make what I'm talking about today far more actionable. And in general, we have to be real here. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm just using probabilities and what I've seen in the past to dictate my outcomes. But I promise you, and I don't say this to gloat, I just probably have more money on the line in this industry than you do. And I'm just really used to that. I've been doing it for so many years, having my assets fluctuate like this. And I'm just really used to it. But you might not be used to it, and it might drive you nuts, and you might lose a lot of money because you're just emotional. And you have to be prepared for the fact that you might have days where you feel like you're losing all your money. And if you can't do that, you should just stay away. In fact, in general, you should use these videos as a starting place for your education, not as a simple guide as to what to buy. So again, take responsibility for your buys and sells. And with that said, let's get to the good stuff. First and foremost, we're switching back over to CoinMarketCap. I'm actually just really sick of CoinGecko. I feel like they really fell off in general. CoinMarketCap is way better, just way easier to deal with. So anyway, just a little aside, I'm going back to CMC, baby. BitTensor, this one, literally, we've missed it. When it rocketed up to, $300, we said we were going to wait for a dip. I should have gotten a dip here around 250, but I didn't. Let's see how low this one gets. It's just been like a rocket here. 15x since like it really came on the radar. I will say in the end, this does look like it's a category leader, so it should continue to grind up 5-10x more throughout the bull run. We can see its FDV is 11 billion. Circulating about 3 billion. So, 10x from here, maybe 20x if we get to 250K Bitcoin or something like that. But just know you're not going to get your life-changing gains here. This is like the stuff that you rotate profits into to just continue compounding with the cycle. But it doesn't feel like you're going to get life-changing stuff here from BitTensor. Akash, again, a little more of the same. This one is sitting at $1 billion market cap. We've been talking about it ever since it launched. I mean, we talked about it all last cycle, held it all the way through. I have my own validator on this network. I've been staking forever. Akash is certainly the real deal here. Again, a 10x from here would be an amazing performance. I think it just grinds up with the cycle. As you can see, it's been grinding up nicely. But as you can tell here, it was up at about $6 and it's now down to 4.5 or 4.30. That's its biggest correction to this point. So that might mark that we might have some consolidation here. And if you missed Akash, maybe you want to start allocating. Again, this is the decentralized compute sector. If you want a safer bet in the decentralized compute, again, not your 100x, but more your 5 to 20x, that's Akash. AIOZ, like I said, I've just recently taken a position in this project. This is a full layer 1 blockchain dedicated to AI use cases. Now with AI, I want to be very clear. There is absolutely no one on earth who is not chatting utter bullshit that is going to tell you that they know who the winner of the AI race is. No one in Silicon Valley can tell you, besides NVIDIA, who the winner of the AI race is. So what we're looking for are blockchains that have a compelling narrative and then a risk-adjusted bet. So it depends on how risky you are. If you want to go for lower cap stuff that could completely disintegrate into dust, but you could get that 20, 50x, or you go for higher cap stuff, which you know is going to continue to grind up with the AI narrative. Remember, narratives are the way to think of crypto, and AI is going to continually reassert itself for a few reasons, some of which will make sense even more so as we talk about memes at the end of this video. But it's important you realize that AI has no way to value it, and assets that have no real way to be valued are the most valuable in the crypto space, because crypto has what's called a reflexive cycle, which we'll talk all about in a few minutes. But what you want to know is that it's actually a good thing in a bull market when an asset is really hard to value, because if it's popular and has hype, it could go a lot higher if there's no logical argument as to why not. Think about it that way. The more measuring sticks you can easily apply to an asset in crypto, the less likely it is to pump extremely hard. Maybe it'll save it from going too low, but again, everyone's here to multiply money. We're not really here to protect a few bucks, at least not me. So the reality is stuff that doesn't really have an easy way to be measured is super valuable. And that's precisely why memes go so parabolic. But AI is kind of a meme right now because there's no way to say, oh, it should be worth this or the market's worth that. We don't know anything about what the AI market should or shouldn't be yet. We don't know which product category is going to win, which type of DPIN is going to win. Cryptographically inclined brothers and sisters, we don't know shit. Literally embrace that. But with that said, let's cover some more of the AI picks that are in my portfolio and how I view the space in general, because a lot of these coins have been going absolutely insane. And this particular dip might actually put an end to that and give you a chance to rewind the clock a little bit. So again, AIOZ, it started the bull market here at half a penny. You can see it's at 8.5 cents. So I don't know, like a 16x or so off the lows. If it comes down, you can see it had this massive pump up here. If it starts to break down below 74, it should come down quite a bit. And so maybe that'll be an opportunity to get into this one if you missed it. Again, I don't know if it'll do that, but you can see it's playing off of this resistance at about 95. It didn't quite break that. So understand that it's still kind of under this range that it had from the prior cycle. So it could give another good entry. Now, Echelon Prime is actually a really good one because it's going to come up in our gaming as well as our base token, as well as our Solana ecosystem category. And when you see a coin with a lot of different exposure to different narratives, that's what makes it pump so hard. Again, we were covering Echelon Prime at about $2 back in October. And as you can see here, this thing has been ripping, but it went absolutely parabolic off the announcement that you were going to be able to stake Prime and earn this new AI coin just by staking Prime. So that's pretty cool. They also use AI in their game. And as you can see, it's kind of settling out here. So if Prime comes down and, maybe it tests lower, maybe around this $15 range, I have no idea. But if we get a brutal correction here on Prime, this could be a huge one to get into, as I think it's one of the sort of category leaders. It's one of the hottest gaming tokens. It's hot in AI. It's hot on the base ecosystem. It's cool in Solana. It's got a ton of different sort of hypium pumpamentals here. Again, it's up 10x, but if it corrects, this could be a good one to get into. Here it's sitting at not quite $1 billion, but it's fully diluted as $2.5 billion. Again, I don't know how high this thing can go, but I would think this is in your 5x to 10x. Maybe a 20x would be like absolutely insane out of this. I would say conservatively a 5 to 10x. All right, so now we're getting to more pumpy stuff. Here we have Pal AI. This is focused on chatbots. Again, I held some of this earlier in the run. I think this thing could definitely do numbers. It looks like it's reaccumulating well here. Again, it came from literal dust here, has gone on an astronomical run. The person who put me onto Pal AI was actually Crypto God John. And I also saw Crypto Cousin talking about it. So again, I want to shout out the people who I saw discovering these gems early, because the goal of this channel is to give you the knowledge and the frameworks that you can use to navigate this industry. Those frameworks are worth way more than just random coin picks like Pal AI, which again, I think could do very well. You can see it's half the size of Prime and other coins, but I do trade this one a little bit like an AI meme. I mean, it's utterly insane to think that Pal AI will be the chatbot that dominates. That's sort of the big market game with OpenAI and ChatGPT. I don't think there's a lot of ways that a crypto native chatbot is going to end up dominating. So you can trade stuff like this, like the chatbot narrative, but to me, it's just the AI hype. It's not a real like, oh, this product's going to catch and going to go viral and everyone's going to use Pal AI chatbots. Respectfully, maybe it's true, but I'm just trading it with the mentality that it's going to pump with the AI narrative. I'm not trading any of these AI coins as if their single products are going to dominate and take over the world. So just to be real about that, set expectations. Next, we have 0x0. I've actually been in this one for a very long time. Now a bigger bag, but I've just been holding on. This is a privacy DEX, like an AI privacy DEX. So you can actually cover up transactions. It's an interesting narrative here. I don't have a huge bag of it, but again, you can see it's going crazy with the AI narrative, and it's smaller than the other ones. I would say maybe you could expect a 10x out of this throughout the rest of the run, and that would be an awesome result. That 5 to 10x range, I think, is fair. And as you can see, GPU, aka Node AI, I mean, we talked about this thing at $1.30. It peaked up a 2x. One of the craziest ones here is definitely Destra, Desync. We talked about it around here at about 14 cents or so, and it's gone over 3x to 50 cents. Wouldn't surprise me to see it cool off a bit, but again, you're just seeing these crazy gains out of AI. And it's worth noting that there are some big AI projects coming to market here: Sharp, Aether, IONET, GPU. I am an early investor here in GPU. I passed up on IONET and Aether, even though they're solid projects. But there it is. You have your AI landscape pretty well lined out. And yes, there could be new projects that come into this, but it's going to be pretty hard for you to drum up a super credible looking AI focused new blockchain project that has history in this industry, that wasn't created overnight as an attempt to run in and grab the bull run, which is what we're seeing in other categories. And I'll talk about that a little bit later here. But just know, this is why AI and gaming are comparatively easier to invest in than memes. Even though memes have been insanely parabolic, AI and gaming, it's so easy to pick the category leaders that are already up 10x or so from the lows, and will probably grind out at least another 10x from here. That's 100x, and it wasn't super hard to find. Whereas memes, you can create a new meme every 10 seconds with a site that will actually show you how to use. So for that reason, there's not as much risk of saturation at the top of the category for gaming and AI. Now, the next category we're going to talk about is actually the base ecosystem. You can literally just go to base ecosystem by cryptocurrencies categories here on CoinMarketCap, find the base category. And what you'll see here is they actually have a lot of meme coins. And so essentially what happened over the last few weeks is a lot of people have been rotating from Solana into base. That doesn't mean Solana is by any means dead or slowing down. In fact, Solana is doing amazing, but there was just a hunger for a new chain to go experiment on, and base, Coinbase's L2, which does not have its own token. Well, people started to actually bet on some of the meme coins here as if they were the token. And one of the meme coins they originally bet on was Toshi, which is the cat of Brian Armstrong. And then people were also betting on Brett, which is another character from the world, the Matt Fury world that Pepe is from. And so because Pepe is the big meme on Ethereum, people were betting that the best friend from the cartoon Brett would be big on base. And well, I think they were pretty right. I mean, this thing went absolutely bananas. Its all-time high was pretty close to this. As you can see, it hit an all-time high of over 700 million. I mean, that's pretty insane. By the way, I'm not recommending you buy any of these. I'm going to give you my full rundown on memes and how I'm going to profit from them towards the end of the video, so hold on for that. But some of these meme coins like Degen actually became real coins, launching their own layer 3s on top of base, and you can see it went crazy. It pumped all the way to a $1.6 billion FTV. Absolutely crazy performance for a quote-unquote meme coin. So to be clear, you could make a lot of money on memes on Solana and Base. Those are the two main meme coin playgrounds. However, please slow down, take a breath, smash the like button, and wait until we get to that part of the video. All right, first let's dive into gaming. Now, pretty much every coin in gaming has had a massive cool off, except for Prime, because they had this AI announcement. So they got wrapped up and pulled up in the AI move. But effectively, every coin in gaming has had a massive cool off over the last few months, and that is a very good sign. In fact, I believe gaming's entering into a pretty juicy zone to be scooped up during this dip because there's so much happening behind the scenes. But along with the explosive excitement that came with Q4 gains from last year, coins going 10, 20x off the lows, there is a new wave of problems in gaming. And that is that Web 2 gaming is actually in a weird place. A lot of companies going out of business, a lot of firing, a lot of downsizing. And so there's a lot of teams that desperately need cash. And they heard that this crypto stuff is a gold mine. And I heard from GDC that every game studio with so much as a pitch deck is about to launch their own ERC20. And that, my friends, is an extremely dangerous place for the retail crowd to be, because pretty much they're targeting this audience. They're targeting you. We no longer have years of history with these teams. We haven't seen them survive the bear market, continue to grind through the hard periods week after week, keeping their community happy, delivering meaningful updates. No, these are going to be brand new folks with nothing to show but some shiny objects. And that's why I think it's going to be really important to have a filter on gaming and to understand that a lot of the category leaders in infrastructure are going to be the main beneficiaries of this mania. But a lot of the shiny newcomers that get a token listed with nothing more than a ton of hype, well, those coins are going to eventually go to dust, and they're going to leave some very unhappy community members. So it's more important than ever to have a very specific thesis for how you invest in crypto gaming. Again, Immutable X is going to be the most volume of highly funded games that are building on their network. Also Beam. And then of course we have Super, which one of the virtues of Super is of course that it's plugging into only the best games. I literally can't tell you how proud I am when I scroll the partners of Superverse. As you can see, from My Pet Hooligan to Off the Grid, Metalcore, Wilder World, Shrapnel, Joyride, it's literally only amazing teams that have been grinding super hard through the bear market and that are run by top teams that we know are here to move the industry forward. And so one of the benefits is Super's not just infrastructure, but it's actually a filtered layer of infrastructure that's only working with super elite teams. And that's another way that Super's helping move the industry forward. Is going to be pretty hard for average market participants to know who's legit and who's not once this mania kicks off of all these game teams shoving their ERC20s into your face. And that's where I'm here to help. And things are about to get real crazy as Superverse is launching a newsletter. This is going to be your key to accessing all kinds of time-sensitive updates, such as airdrops from partner communities or other types of literal free coins in your pocket. So if you want to make sure that you get ahead of the next hit game airdrop, this is the kind of thing that could jumpstart your portfolio from zero or just help you stay ahead of the most important trends in the whole crypto industry. Make sure you sign up here. The link is in the description of the video. Go click on it and sign up right now. I promise it'll be the most worthwhile newsletter you've ever subscribed to in your life, or your money back. But just know, Immutable X, you're looking at, hopefully, I mean, if this goes to 10x, that would be massive, right? That would be a $38 billion market cap. It's possible, but I'm looking more for a 5x to 10x here. Beam, I think this could definitely go 5 to 10x. It going to a $16 billion market cap and a crazy Bitcoin bull run over 200K here. Yeah, Beam could definitely get there. We also have Ronin here. They're the play to earn kings. They had Pixels online. Again, they just have a huge network of players. And so if GameFi or play to earn takes off again, which I most certainly think it will, this will definitely benefit from the next Axie, whatever that is, taking flight here in crypto land. And so you have this opportunity to scoop up gaming blue chips. This is the only shot that crypto has, in my opinion, of getting out of pure speculative games and into a real long-lasting use case, true economies of scale. And I literally wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think gaming was going to change the world in meaningful ways. Same with AI. It's just really hard to predict who it is, so I'm just playing the markets. And I'm going to show you my approach to doing that in meme coins. But before we do that, I want to take a second to shout out NordVPN, the sponsor of this video, and really the only sponsor I have on this channel. And that's because this is a product I use every single day. And if you're in crypto and you're not using a VPN, you're an idiot. And I mean that with all due respect, but you're really, really dumb because this is a $3 product that can protect your entire identity online and stop you from leaking valuable information to baddies on the internet. Now, as I've mentioned many times here, I was hacked about a year ago, super traumatic, super shitty. And if I'd been using NordVPN with threat protection, I could have actually avoided a lot of that hassle. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee. You get a big, fat, juicy discount for signing up with the link in the description. It supports the channel, and quite frankly, if you're not using one, you're a dum-dum. So go ahead and sign up. It's the easiest thing besides getting a hardware wallet that you can do to stay safe in crypto land. Shout out to Nord, but let's get back to the matter at hand. Now it's time to talk about the most important topic in crypto. One that I've hinted at that I've changed my tune on. Definitely the place where you're gonna find 100x, maybe even 1,000 or 10,000x. Of course, that's what the screenshots you're seeing circulating on Twitter would lead you to believe. And while it's true, it's possible to get those. We'll look deeply into how likely it is for you to find those and what the real ways that people are profiting off meme coins that are more replicable and we can share here. But first, let's talk about the background that has made this meme coin super cycle that we're in today. As Pomp mentions here, America has become a society of gamblers. Lotto ticket sales are hitting the highest levels that they've ever hit, and sports betting as a market is growing parabolically. All of this while the average workers are struggling to afford groceries or really even make ends meet. Of course, people aren't thinking about compounding an investment portfolio over 20 years, even 10 years, maybe even 2 to 3 years. They're more interested in this week, how are they going to get out of their situation? And that leads us to a financially nihilistic gambler's society. We even have Vitalik talking about meme coins and what purpose they could serve in society. And of course, we've all seen the screenshots of people trading Solana meme coins, some with some very questionable name conventions, and making an absolutely astronomical amount of gains. We're talking 1000x gains here on dogs and cats and frogs and poorly drawn versions of the president. There's some really crazy stuff going on. It's important to realize that this is all rooted in the same broken system that created Bitcoin. That Bitcoin is really a response to is the broken fiat monetary system. But now we have a response on a social level that doesn't even care about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's grown too much. It's not going to fix many people's life growing from 70K up to 100K or even 200K. A 3x just ain't enough for a lot of people. They need a magic 100,000 million X to get the out of the hole. And so when you understand that there is a true revenge trade that is comparable in many ways to punk rock, to hip hop, to raging against the machine, you can understand why this is far more exciting and palatable as a way to get rich than even a logical investment like investing into disruptive tech companies. No, I would take it one step further and say that the Silicon Valley insiders that came in like cockroaches all throughout the 2021 bull cycle with all their proprietary deal flow and VC vested bags, well, they just dumped them on the head of the average person that was here in crypto land to earn a better future. And so in many ways, meme coins are a revenge trade, a response to not only a broken system, but a broken crypto system where there's far too much information asymmetry and access asymmetry. No, meme coins represent a democratic and open way that anyone could potentially truly get rich. That's what their appeal is. And they can also be pretty fun to trade too. Obviously pretty scary as well if you can see your money disintegrate into dust. That's my personal belief on why meme coins are gaining such popularity and dominance this cycle. But there's more to this theory that I want to share with you, and check out Kel XYZ. He did a really good thread here. He said the real next L1 trade, L1s were things like ethereum, which of course dominated the 2016 to 2017 bull run, and again with Solana and Luna and AVAX in the 2020-2021 cycle. The L1 was the best trade in crypto history. The meme coin trade, popularized by Ansem, Laliet, and Intuito. If you're interested in meme coins or really anything, follow Ansem. If you're interested in the trenches, definitely follow L here, 0x Laliet. He's been prophetic about meme coins, but obviously the king meme coin caller, or really coin caller in general, has been Ansem. So check him out. I don't know if it's possible that you're not following him, but you need to be. He's actually been on the channel back in 2021. What he's accomplished this cycle is definitely impressive. So in order to really wrap your head around why meme coins could be worth more than actual products, you need to understand one thing, which is that all of these tokens exist in the attention economy. And getting attention, like what we're doing right now, is the hardest thing to do on the internet. I spent 7 years building this platform, and it was grueling hard work that did not always pay off. In fact, 18 months there of 2022 and 2023, I watched almost everyone quit this industry while I put my head down and continued to make content, even though it was content that was hard to make because it wasn't good news. No, attention is the thing that drives everything in this industry. In fact, good tech without attention might as well not exist in cryptocurrency. That's how important the attention economy is here in crypto. And it's not just here in crypto, it's the entire world we live in. You have Kylie Cosmetics, essentially non-existent company, but boom, an influencer points at it and they're a billionaire within a few days. The same is true with all these celeb brands. Mr. Beast cooks up a chocolate bar and it's bigger than Hershey's overnight because he's got more eyeballs than any of these brands could ever muster. So when you're coming to crypto land, understanding the attention economy is driving everything is an easy way to understand market dynamics. Because if the protocol and the project aren't getting attention, then it doesn't matter. Again, this is why every game in the industry wants to partner with the Superverse network, because that's where they're going to be able to get attention to all their hard work to drive users and liquidity from the Super network into their incredible pieces of technology that without that network effect might not succeed. And that's why I truly believe Superverse is that central hub within the gaming ecosystem. But alas, I digress. What's really attractive about meme coins is asymmetry here, because while they could totally go to zero, and in fact, most of them do, most of the times that I buy meme coins, just random ones off the market, they all just go to zero. Or if they pump, I'm not there at the computer watching it, and then by the time I check on them again, they're back to zero. So most of the time I do lose. But the fun thing about meme coins is when you do win, when you do catch a scorcher, the upside is so dramatically bigger than the downside that it's worth the risk. The risk adjusted return is insane. And this is where we get to the concept of reflexivity. Reflexivity is the concept of cause and effect loops. And with meme coins, because there's literally no reason for it to exist other than a mode to speculate. There's no project announcement. There's no narrative. There's no catalyst. It's just a meme. It's just a thing to bet on. And so if it's going up, the reasons why it might go up are that it went up. And if it's going down, the reasons that it might go down are that it's going down. The reflexivity is insane because as it goes up, it makes more people want to buy it, which makes it go up, which makes more people want to buy it. And the same is true on the downside. These are the most reflexive assets known to Earth. They're essentially plutonium for speculation. And that is why they can go higher than your worst nightmares and also crash worse than your worst nightmares too. Now, here's where it gets crazy, because if you look at the market cap here of Doge throughout the last bear market, what you can see is that it went all the way up to almost $90 billion, $88 billion. But when it came down, it stayed at about $8 to $10 billion throughout the entirety of the bear market, right? Like that was its floor. And nobody on earth can tell me that $8 to $10 billion isn't a huge amount of capital, right? There are a ton of people that never sold this thing that are just still holding it. So even though there was no reason to hold because there's no real tech development catalyst coming up, what you saw is that this continued to maintain some really significant value. So while these things can pump higher than your worst nightmares, they also can hold real value and ongoing value over time. And this is where we come into the concept that even if you're wrong on memes and the market is overall bullish, you could underperform but still profit. However, if you're right on memes, the upside convexity could be beyond belief. Now, if we look at this paradigm, which is the S-curve, the Schelling point, you can see here in 2013 that there was an S-curve of adoption for new crypto projects. You saw things like XRP come out in 2013, but in 2017, you realize, boom, this went crazy. It's a gold mine. In 2021, we really first saw the global meme mania. That was the dog mania of Doge and SHIB, the SNL moment with Elon Musk. And this is when we had proof of meme coins, just like our 2013 moment with proof of crypto. And many now believe that meme coins are effectively the new gold mine, that this is the S-curve where meme coins are going to take off. This is leading people to call this cycle the meme coin super cycle. Now, while that is wildly tantalizing to say, I want to just be real here. People bet on memes because they pump the hardest. They are the most likely chance for someone to take $100 and maybe make $100,000, and they don't look down on you. It is quite fun trading in absolute shitcoin chats, just literally buying and selling utter garbage with no intention of following the project, of looking for the next news update. No, you're just flipping and dipping. You're getting dumped on. You're losing money. You might be up a lot. You might be down a lot. It is wild fun. And there's absolutely no judgment against treating it as entertainment. And so memes don't judge you for not being a blockchain expert. They could make you rich overnight. And quite frankly, they probably appeal to normies more than any of this highbrow tech, except for, in my opinion, top gaming coins. Like the normies are going to go absolutely psycho for those once they start believing in those games. So here we are in the attention economy of crypto, where memes are truly the biggest attention sucks, doing insane growth. We'll show you the absolute biggest gainer in the entire meme coin space. I'll tell you why it's probably not done for the cycle, and probably if Bitcoin moves up, it has more legs in it, but also the other memes that are on my radar, and in general, a way to find memes. But I want to be really clear. This is red hot degenerate gambling. This is downright unforgivable stuff. If you start getting into memes, you'll buy things just because they're pumping, because people in the chat are talking about it. No one has any idea how high it's going to go or what, and it's so easy for these things to go to literal zero. So just know there is no guarantees in the meme coin category. Everything I showed you could go to absolute zero, not in a few months, but it could just rug overnight, okay? It could just disappear. It could just be a delusion, like a mirage in the desert, okay? You thought you were drinking water, but you're just chugging a bunch of sand. That's disgusting. Okay, With that said, if you continue with this video, you have no one to blame but yourself. Congratulations. All right, here we are on Deck Screener. This is going to be the easiest way for you to navigate the memes. Now, memes are primarily on Solana and Base. They do exist almost everywhere, but this is the place you're going to find the juiciest, the freshest of memes, the ones that are part of such a refined culture. And the one that we absolutely have to start with is Whiff. This started on Sol. This is a Sol meme, and it's a dog, but it's with a dog with a hat. So as you can see, it's totally different than the other dog coins because it has this hat on. As you can see, that's massively important because it's gone to a $3.6 billion FTV. I think it was as high as almost a $5 billion FTV. And that means that it's at $3.6, right? Now, if you zoom into the beginnings of this chat, you know, people were buying this at 0.0001, right? This was a 100th of a penny here, and it's up at $3.62. Now, of course, I know what you're going to say. No one could have bought in there. But what's crazy is people were talking about this all along throughout December. I ended up buying in some bags here between sort of 10 and 20 cents, and I should have bought more, but I had actually just been burned so badly on memes that month, and they had all just gone to zero, so I didn't go too hard. And then it became clear that I had probably missed the biggest trade of the cycle. And I don't even know if I missed it. I would have had plenty of time to add to it. It just felt silly adding whenever it pumped because I felt like, damn, I've already seen this thing do hundreds of X's. I know people who are up millions and millions of dollars. Not joking, I know people who have made 8 figures off of Whiff, big 8 figures, not just tickling 8 figures, but multiples of that. I ain't naming names, but this is mind-boggling stuff. The problem is that these stories are going to lead you to believe that this is easily replicable, when I actually don't think that's true. I mean, I think Whiff in a lot of ways is sort of the embodiment of this new Solana dominant movement. And this is kind of like the chosen coin of this bull run. So while this is an astronomical performance, and this is probably the main meme coin of this entire cycle, I would say, actually, you know, what's funny is this chart looks good. I would say that this is probably a really good buy zone. As you can see, it's playing off of this prior high right here. I didn't realize that it was buying, but yeah, I mean, Whiff looks pretty good right here. I would say that this chart is extraordinary and clean. And you know, who knows? Maybe this is the global intergalactic top. Maybe this is the highest it'll ever go. Again, I make absolutely zero promises when it comes to the performance of meme coins. But if you're looking for gold tier meme coin exposure, you can do no better than Whiff this cycle. Here it is. Again, it's at a $3.5 billion market cap. Seeing this thing 10x would be amazing. I would be very excited for everyone involved. But again, there's no reason why it couldn't keep going if the market's super hot. And there's no reason why it needs to keep going. It could just go to zero. But if the market remains super hot, something like Whiff could try to run up and try to catch up to something like a Doge. Now, the next coin is actually this crazy cult on Ethereum, and it's now bridged to Base Chain, so you can trade it on Base for super cheap, but it's called Mogcoin. This is one of my bigger meme coin positions by quite some margin. As you can see, I did this chart several months ago. I saw it consolidating, and as you can see, this thing consolidated beautifully, not just over a few days, but you can see it had this nice symmetrical pattern over months, starting from August all the way into early 2024, like February, right? So it had like over 6 months of consolidating beautifully in this triangle. And I figured, hey, look, I'm going to take a crack at it. I've been seeing this thing all over the timeline, and wouldn't you know it, it goes absolutely ripping like crazy. But as you can see now, it's consolidating again, and it's starting to try to put in a low here. I happen to think that this is one of the strongest communities. Obviously, I have a massive bag bias. So if you buy Mogcoin, know that you are supporting the channel indirectly. Shout out to you. But when it comes to memes, I'm really interested in the big, crazy communities. Again, community is not a reason why the number goes up, but it's good to keep the coin relevant. And this coin definitely has a lot of hype. So again, showing you Mog could 10x and it's still not as big as Whiff. So this is more of a mid-cap play with more upside, but more risk that it could crash. Again, the risk to crash is everywhere, but this could 10, 20x from here. Throughout the cycle, again, it's silly to put price targets, but Mog could easily 10x from these numbers. And if the cycle gets crazy and we end up in the meme coin super cycle, I don't know. There's no real reason why Mog couldn't go crazy. Next, we have Toshi. What's cool about Toshi is this is actually Brian Armstrong's cat, and this was one of the first meme coins on Base. And that's why I bought into it. I bought into it sort of around here because there was no real way to buy direct Base exposure. And I figured the founder, Brian Armstrong's cat, was as good of crypto exposure to Base as I was going to get. Again, this is 216 million. It's very similar in market cap to Mog. It's on Base. That's it. It's a cat. People like cats. Well, what can I say? But again, it's worth understanding that because there's no base coin, people are trading like the core meme coins there as kind of a proxy to what a base token might be. And that brings us to Brett. Brett is the other base meme. Oh my God, this chart is crazy. As you can see, this guy is part of the same world as Pepe. He's actually Pepe's best friend in the cartoons. And so the people thought, okay, well, we'll do Pepe's best friend on base because Pepe as a meme on ETH is so big. And yeah, it went pretty well. As you can see, it's over 650 million market cap. It peaked over almost 850, I guess. This chart is really grotesquely bullish. I don't actually hold any Brett because it was too big when I saw it. I thought I had already run too much. And if I'm going to buy meme coins, I just want to get silly gains. I don't really want to buy for a 5x. I want to buy for just grotesque gains. That's me. I want to feel degenerate. I want to feel disgusting. I want to laugh at myself if I lose. If I win, I want to browse a really irresponsible purchase. My idea of meme coin money is buying absolutely tasteless crap that you don't need because you want it in such a silly way. That's the way I consider meme coins. Whereas like my other stuff, that's like portfolio. There's strategy. These are hard-earned gains. This is a methodology, not with meme coins. That's just fun gambling. Now we have Bowden. Now Bowden's an interesting one. It's been going crazy today. As you can see, it's had some periods of cool off. This is like a political meme. It also was poorly drawn here. It's like misspelled Geo Bowden and whatever. Anyway, this one, as it's an election year, could continue to remain relevant. If this thing sells off again, which, you know, it looks like it's got a pretty aggressive sell-off candle here. If this thing comes down into the 40-cent range, 30-cent range, maybe that's a buy. I definitely see this chart. It's making higher highs and higher lows. It definitely seems like this is the chosen political coin right now, as the Trump coin is apparently owned too much by one person. But these political meme coins, they're definitely going to have legs in this particular year. That's why I'm showing it to you. I think there's something real here. Again, 394. It's in that sort of whiff range. It's not in that upper god tier range like whiff, but it's comparable to Mog and it's comparable to Toshi. Now we have Pepe. As you guys know, I showed you Pepe on this channel and I mentioned it around here where the circle is. And as you can see, things went pretty good. Clean 10x off of where I mentioned it. And obviously it's accumulating here. Pepe is kind of the most historic meme, in my opinion, in the entire crypto space. Like I send Pepe memes all day, all night. I send them to my friends. I send them to my wife. I literally send Pepe memes on everything. Like Pepe is core culture in crypto to me. But at the same time, it's also a massive meme. It's 2.74 billion. I would say that you'll probably expect Pepe to pump really hard when ETH pumps really hard. It'll be like the leading ETH meme. I would see it as like ETH beta. If you're bullish on ETH for this month, then Pepe should rip. And so there you go. Those are like some quality memes. Those are some like high quality memes, maybe some curated memes. I don't know if they're going to give you 1000x, right? But they might give you 10x, 20x. Maybe if the market gets crazy, 100x. I don't really know. They could all just go straight to zero.
Zero.
But I'm trying to show you memes that I think are big enough that they have a future and that you don't have to guess. Because if you're just going out there and guessing which memes and throwing $100 at every meme like a dartboard, you're gonna miss on like 50 or 60 of them. And the ones that do pump, you'll probably sell them before they get to that crazy level, because 50 of the other ones you didn't sell when it pumped and then you lost all your money. It's just an absolute emotional nightmare to trade memes because there's really no way to know when to sell them. So you either forget to sell the pump and then you're down bad, or if it keeps pumping, you sold the pump, but you didn't hold for generational wealth. No matter what you do with memes, you will feel tremendous amounts of pain. But if you do it right, maybe you'll make some memories that you'll at least have a chuckle and look back on, and maybe, just maybe, you'll end up winning some cash. But again, once you win that cash from the meme coin race, remember, there are sites like what I'm about to show you. This is a site called pump.fun. Now, I don't know if something super offensive is going to pop up because they tend to be really offensive. So I'm sorry if that happens. This site will let you create a token in 10 seconds. And so what you're seeing is these new tokens are being created on Solana and Blast, and they actually are adding Base very soon. But the point is that you can actually find memes before they even are created here at like 0 market cap, like 2K market cap. You can say that this one that is the biggest one right now has a 38K market cap, like disgustingly tiny. Like if you put in like 2 Solana, it moves the price up like 10%. The point is that there's such a strong saturation effect on memes. There's so many happening, and now people really recognize that the appetite for memes is so big that people are flooding the ecosystem with memes every second of the day. You simply can't do that with gaming and AI and top layer ones like Solana. So once you make your money from meme coins, you want to chuck those into the coins that are going to have a more secure place in the bull run. As long as the bull run continues, there's no guarantee that random meme coin that just popped off will continue to grow. But you're pretty sure that the leaders in gaming, AI, and layer ones like Solana are going to have a nice future with the rest of the bull run. So my particular strategy is, hey, look, if you want to go on Pump Fun, if you want to go on Dex Screener and dig for some gems, right? You want to try to find that next hot meme, go ahead, do it. I salute you. But if you are so blessed as to find some juicy gains in the meme land territory, please chuck it into a secure bag in gaming, AI, or just rotate that baby into Solana. As always, I hope this video has helped you tremendously. I see now that the file is well over an hour. If you stuck around to this point, we're pretty much best friends. So thank you. Smash that like button and check out this video popping up. I'll see you very soon on the next episode.